Hi everyone, we're doing volume 2, part 3 of Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and this is my wintry journal. Now I just want to go through the process of what I've done so far with the deer. This was the size I ended up deciding on. I've got a bit of just kitchen paper and I've just traced the shape. Sorry about the noise. And it's a rough sketch, rough tracing, and then I've put a little bit of this on the back. So this is actually, I don't know, I think it's actually a chinograph. So I did a bit of that on the back, and then I put the deer onto a bit of this. And got a pencil and traced it out, and then it was very, very faint, so I've just done a very rough outline, rough sketch. It's very rough because I'm editing as I go, and I'll cut this out, I think, when I've done it. So what I decided was, because I've got that little bit, I'll show you where I'm up to with this, I've got the little bit of red work on here. I thought I'd do a similar sort of thing but with blue, and because it's got this background it won't be lost in the piece. Any other updates? I think you saw a lot of this. I've added a little bit of red up here just to tie them in. I've got all my background stitching. I didn't bother doing here because I know this is probably going to go there. But what I also did, where's my little pot, was did some stamping. So instead of doing tabs like I did for my last book, I've done some stamping on just some cuts, bits of shirt. I've done one word winter to go somewhere. I've also started doing a contents page deer tag, and I'll be putting everything on as we go, and that can go on that first page. Where's my book? Here it is. So that will probably be going on here once I've found a bit of lace and put that on. I have sewn this on now. Nothing much else has happened on this side. That's just sewn on, ready to be stuck down, and then this will be sewn on too. Right, so that's where I'm up to. I've started doing my second panel, and I was thinking I might do a lot of the background panels ready to go. I don't want to get too far ahead though, because I don't know. I mean, this is how the first one is. If I make a few backgrounds, I guess I can mix and match what works in a row, putting them all in a row. I don't mind that idea. Okay, I'm doing a stem stitch around the line work, and as I go I'm just looking at it. So deer's eyes are quite on the side of their head, so even though these blue dots were a bit in and a bit forward, I've stitched to the side. Nose, I've done two little, tried to do it anyway, two little French knots for the nostrils of the nose. This is something I'm still gaining experience with, and I decided I was going to try and be a little bit lighter with it. Quite a lot of my stitching has often been with more than one thread, so I thought I'd give it a bit of a go. Now I'm just trying to do here a little bit of the sort of the fur markings. And also when I've washed the blue off, I'll have another look and see how it works, how it looks. Excuse me, froggy throat today. And I might need to make some edits once I've done that. Probably referring to my photo, of course. So it's not going to be perfect, absolute like photogenic version, but it at least will look, well, hopefully, hopefully it'll look a lot like a deer. Now I'm quite aware that I'm leaving the legs sort of dangling in the air a little bit, and that is partly because on the photo it's sort of covered by a bit of grass. I think I'm already thinking I've not quite got... See, this is where your inexperience doesn't help. This probably should have come more rounded, more around here, and it has. And part of the issue has been that it hasn't come out from the shading and the shape. It's very hard to trace it. So I've got a bit of this muscle here. That part's feeling right. I don't think it's as tall. I think it's a bit rounded on this bit. I don't know. I mean, at a glance it'll still look like a deer. I've got to do the underbelly. Now on my tracing, this is where we have a little bit of creative license. There's a line of dots here, but I've also sort of looked at it and thought that could be a line of stitches to make shading. Same with up here. Now it's all dappled along the back, but at a glance when I was tracing it almost looked like lines. So I'm going to try and get a little bit of a contemporary look in on it, as if I was painting it and doing some mark making on it. So we'll see how we go with it. That's the plan. Righto, I thought I would come back right near the end of my stitching, finishing it off, and then I'll go and wash it and you can see how it looks after. We'll see if it needs any adjustments. So I've still done stem stitch all the way around, and I've just done a few little lines, some closer lines, some French knots and some bits of, it's actually not, there's nothing there, but I made it up, as you do, why not? See if we need any edits once it's washed, or add any bits. So the good thing about the water-based pen is you can just keep drawing, sew as much as you like, and then when you wash it, it's all gone. Brilliant. Also, I'm not doing this with a hoop. I just thought about it and thought, no, some things I like to use the hoop for, other things maybe not. I'm not pulling the thread super tight, so it's not creating a problem. In fact, it's a little loosey-goosey in some bits, but I don't mind it. I think one of the issues with this pen, because it's water-based, if you're going to be sewing with and under a light, as we often are if we're filming, can make it a bit, our fingers can rub it off a little bit. So just always looking, always observing, and yes, I'm telling myself that. Oh, it's so nice after those days and days of super days of cleaning. I worked out with the Airbnb that I think I must admit I've been doing a lot of art and I'd let it go a bit, the cleaning, so it kind of needed to be done anyway, but having to do it all in a hurry was a little bit much. So I worked out, I think 12 to 15 hours I've put in, and even though that sounds phenomenally large, when you do decide to get in and do all the skirting boards and all the everything, it's kind of quite time consuming, and I felt like I was getting the house ready for an inspection to sell, which sometimes I think about. Anyway, someone walks through, they'd probably go, wow. Yes, so anyway, when you work out it's only for 4 days of Airbnb, spending 12 to 15 hours worth of doing things for it, you do have to wonder if it's worth it after they've taken their fee. Of course it's worth it if you have a continual stream, but now that everyone else has opened up for their Airbnbs, I guess there's more competition. Right, so here we do. Just want to kind of blend it a little bit more in. I could actually make it a little bit of a, like with the chest, making it up, just like a little bit of a little blaze there, perhaps. Not a big one. It's cute. Anyway, I was glad that I finished it all, and that then it's a couple, an Asian couple, and then she sent me a message that I was supposed to, what's the time now? 3:30. They were supposed to arrive. I thought they were arriving about 3, and she sent me a message to say they were skiing still at Mount Hotham and that they'd probably get here more like 8 or 9. So I went, you know what, I have finished. I can't do any more. I've done as much as I can. Now I will get back to art and craft. And that made me so happy. I can't tell you. All right, so I know here's his legs a little bit wonky. I tried to sort of join, you know, that leg's on the other side of the chest bit, and this had a bit of a chunkier thigh, and there should be another little leg here, but it's kind of hidden in the photo, really quite hidden. There's a lot more dots, but I don't want to put them on. And I'm going to cast off and wash this now, and I'll come back. Right, here he is, very cute. I will have to wait for him to dry, but now I'm looking at him, I'm thinking, I actually can see it's a deer. I haven't gone too far astray. I quite like the little quirky bits that make him look like he's got markings and a blaze and tuft, and maybe if you had used your imagination, a little blaze here under his chin. So I love it. I love him. I know he's got to dry, so he is probably going to go here, and I'm thinking I might, because this is fraying a lot, I might put it on some of the iron-on stuff to stop the fraying and cut around. But I'll have to wait now till it's dry, so I'll be back tomorrow. Righto, I'm back and it's dry, or nearly almost dry. And right, what I've got ready cut. There's a bit of Bonder web that I want to put onto the back. And I've cut it small enough that it'll cover all the little bits and hopefully not be overlapping. It's a glue. Okay, so if anyone doesn't know, I'm going to do it this way, because if there's a little tiny bit here, you can see this little bit of netting. I've done it before, I've shown you. I think I want to have this side, so I know that definitely covers there. And I just need to make sure I've tilted it just a little bit, so it's like that. And I'm just going to fold this over. This is just to protect it and to keep it in place. I've had my iron on. I say 5-10 seconds with the little iron. I saw someone using a heat press with one, and they were doing it for 15 seconds. So just remember the last time I did it, it wasn't 100%. Oh, it's really hot. Cool it down a little bit. So I'm going to cut it out. Oops. I'm not too fussed about having a border because it's obviously it's sewn. Can't cut it too close because I don't want to cut the stitching. I think I'll leave that there, I like that. So that could be, something could be cut out of that and used while it's there. Just throw these extras out. And maybe I'll cut this bit too. And while I have the option, now let's have a look how it looks on the back first. Maybe I do want a bit of that cut out there, because we can. having a think that, not on this one, but I'm going to do an experiment. Because what I thought just then, as I was doing that, you could cut out the body and let the background shine through. I'm not going to do it on this one, but now what I want to do is peel off this. This will be the fun bit. Peel off the backing. So the Bond web is still here. This is like the heat treated glue has stuck onto this. Now I'm going to put this here. I do like it. Maybe I like his bum going into that little crease. I know, because we still don't know what the next prompt is, and I might need that space up there. So let's get things stuck down. A little bit harder to stick on this bit because there's lots of different surfaces. So it goes from one or two bits of material onto lace. See how well it's stuck. Very well. Now this is applique, so if we want, I mean it's pretty well stuck down, but maybe this is a moment to add a bit of detail. I really actually just like it as it is. So I'm actually thinking, what if I used just a thin white thread? So this is the one I've been using, which is an off-white. Okay, we could use that just to double, just to double secure it. It's not really needing a lot. Now I don't particularly want stitches that are showing, so I'll do the invisible stitch like Rachel was talking about. A little tiny stitch. A little tiny stitch and then a big gap. Little tiny stitch, then a big gap. All the way around. And because there's not a lot of layers, there's this 1, 2, and then the backing. So there's only 3 layers, so the needle's going through really well. The thread is playing up, but the needle's doing really well. Right. Now I'm actually just thinking, on my last book, it was pretty heavily embroidered. Lots of colours, lots of work on every panel. And I'm really loving that this is different. This has got a lot of simplicity about it. It's a lot of line work, and it's keeping to, well, mostly the blue palette, but just the tiny little bit of red work to complement it. It's very red, white and blue, isn't it? But I'm not intending it to be. I'm just actually enjoying the colours. And not giving myself too much of a hard time about making it more complex. Because like I've said, this particular one is, it's done a lot quicker. There's double the amount from last time. and I don't want to get caught out. I'm already a bit behind because of the cleaning in the Airbnb. I've got to do, I missed this thread Thursday. Well, I'm filming this on Thursday because I thought this was the priority. However, on Saturday, and I'll probably have it uploaded for tomorrow or Saturday, but on Saturday I'm going to a French embroidery workshop, and so I'll try and film a lot or as much as possible and show you the work for next week's Thread Thursday. So this is a relatively easy process. I think next Wednesday will be when the next prompt comes out. So I think this is going to be it. Possibly on here I might do something and use that on that front contents page. I like this stitch. It's actually just nice to sit and stitch, isn't it? I don't know why I'm telling you all that. You wouldn't be watching it if you didn't think that was a good thing. Yeah. And I think also, yeah, Beth was saying she really couldn't work out what the hell I was doing with my concertina fold, so in my book. So I think, yes, thanks, Beth. I'll think I'll do a, before we get to the end, I'll probably do a little bit more work. So hopefully, even though I know you're not going to do that, Beth, hopefully it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I was doing the fodder challenge and I even got behind with that. So that I'm just looking at my desk going, what is it that I feel like I'm behind? I've started just a quick little journaling class with Lale, and I've missed today already. Same with the fodder challenge. I'm about 3 or 4 days late. So I think I'm going to spend tomorrow catching up. Just not going to think about cleaning or even about cooking. I'm just going to catch up on my work and then have a nice day on Saturday with the ladies doing some French bird embroidery. Looking forward to that. So for those other people who are on Instagram, it's funny how we go in waves as a female with an Instagram account of the annoying harassment that we can get sometimes on Instagram. So I've had quite a few this week. The classic so-and-so follows you and then 2 seconds later they're in your inbox. And I'm like, I'm not even interested. I don't even know if you're a real person anyway, so I'm not taking you serious. So, and I can't remember the lady's name, but there was one lady once that said, because you know on Instagram, if just in case anyone doesn't know, you can force people to unfollow you. So because women were getting harassed, Instagram put a button, so if someone's following you, you can make them unfollow. So I do that. Lily said to me, well, that's stupid. If you didn't do that, you would have triple, and I said, no, I would probably have 4 times the amount of followers, but I just don't want them. I don't want them to follow me. I don't want them to inbox me and say, hey cutie, you look gorgeous or whatever, because it's like they do that to everyone. They're just, I said to Lily, they're probably just really, in reality, some guy in his mother's basement, not at all who they are. And she was warning me that I might be bordering on either being racist if I said it was a particular race doing that. Anyway, I didn't come down in the last shower, and I'm sure none of you who are watching came down in the last shower. And you know what? We don't have to put up with that rubbish. Just force them to unfollow you. So I'm heading up to 1,000 followers on Instagram. I've never had 1,000 followers on Instagram. That's pretty special. But you know what? It's even more special that it's all of you that are, or well, not all of you necessarily, but that it's people who genuinely want to follow me. So if you have an interaction, whether you're liking each other's post or you're looking at their work and making a comment about what you love about it, it's all genuine. And it's a community, not this rubbish. Get a life. Get a life, I say. Get out of your basement. Stop pretending to be someone you're not, and go and get a life. There you are. That's my take on that today. It's just been a bit of a topic because just after today I forced about 10 men to unfollow me who were just people with, you know, in they're either surgeons or in the army, and they always have flowers, dogs and children in their pictures, or kittens. And I just had made about 10 force unfollow me. I'm just sick of them. Just absolutely sick of them. Like, what have you got to do? That's all you can do, isn't it? And I just delete when they send an inbox. I just delete it. I don't even read it. I just delete it. Well, actually, I do read it because usually it's, oh, you're so beautiful. How stupid are they? Do they really think women are that stupid? Maybe they do. Anyway, here we go. I'm not putting it into my book yet, just simply because I don't know what the next prompt is going to be, and I might need to be able to sew through. So this is it so far. This is it for episode 3 or week 3 or part 3. I love it. Gorgeous. Glad I learned about Bonderweb. Thanks, Rachel. I learned everything from Rachel and Sarah about embroidery. Oh, and Ariane. There you go. Still a novice. Loving it though. Getting better, getting more confident. I was definitely confident to tell those guys where to get off. So anyway, stop rambling, Christina. Here we are, end of episode 3, and I'll be back for the next one when we find out what the prompt is. Did I show my finished tag? All right, so I don't look in the Facebook group. I just don't go on Facebook very much. So here's my finished tag, but I just noticed that Rachel said, because someone said they needed more information about the tag, and Rachel said, no gluing, just sewing, and I went, whoops, there you go. Hello, Rachel. I'm always getting it wrong. No, I'm not getting it wrong. I just can't follow the rules, and Rachel and I have a joke about that. We just can't follow the rules. So I have glued my backing on. I have glued the blue to the backing, so both those are glued, but this was all sewn. So there's my tag, and I don't know where that's going yet. I'm going to make a pocket for it somewhere. So probably one of the prompts might be a pocket, and then we'll have somewhere to put our tag. So there you go. That's mine for this first half of July. Right, I'm really stopping now and saying goodbye, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.